Walgreens employee films her routine at work as two store thefts in one day sparks debate. What is there to debate about? You've got an epidemic of organized retail theft ongoing, and you've got stores that have basically said, we're going to put some security in there, but nobody's to touch these thieves. Just let them go. You're there to protect the customers, and you're there to protect the employees. What's going to happen? How are we going to curb this? Let's jump on in. Let's find out what the dealie was. And then we'll talk about solutions. You know what we should do? 10 years shoplifting. Just 10 years. We've gone one way. Now we need to swing that pendulum the other way. 10 years for taking a Snickers? Yes, you did. Off to prison you go, young man. I don't care if you're 13. We need to set an example here. Of course, I'm jesting. These people doing the organized retail thefting, and that's literally, these guys are grabbing shopping carts. Remember back in the day, you used to have people like wearing really baggy clothes to the store? My mom always told me, don't put your hands in your pockets. They will think that you have something in there and that you're stealing something. So I still think about that. I still think about that from the standpoint of, okay, don't have your hands in your pockets. Now I'm 54 and there's no chance they're thinking that I'm shoplifting. Just not. In a viral video, a Walgreens employee happens to record two separate incidents of theft at their store on the same day. That's not uncommon. That is not uncommon. Talked sometime earlier this week about a mini mart chain. And the owner of the mini mart chain, it had to do with Safeway down in Portland. And the mini mart guy, he was like, you know what's really frustrating for our employees is to have a guy come in, grab a little cart, grab a bag, whatever it is, load it up with goods, walk out the door and say, see you tomorrow. And they're back tomorrow. I don't know if you caught that one. But it was like that. How frustrating is that? People are just openly coming into your store and stealing stuff. And they know they're going to get away with it because even if they get arrested, this isn't a felony that they're going to do any time for. Everything has been cut down to such a misdemeanor or not even a misdemeanor. You only stole $900 worth of stuff. It's okay. You just go on your merry way. We're going to give you a little ticket. That's exactly what is happening. And so you've got all these industrious criminals who, the interesting thing that I caught onto yesterday, and somebody said they were talking about Portland and they were talking about the people who drive around in the little Hondas. And they're talking about economical cars that don't draw a lot of attention. And they are the ones that are out there stealing all of this stuff. And we saw one in a video not long ago where they had, I think, $1,000 worth of meat in their cart that they were literally just throwing in the back of this little Honda, for lack of a better word. I mean, just some craziness that's going on, and the retail industry is suffering. And then they're just going to pass that, loss in revenue from all the stolen goods right on to you, and you're going to pay for it. So we all do. We all do. Or the other thing that is literally happening as we speak in these cities where this is going on, store shuts down. Hey, we're not making any money. Rent's pretty high. It's not going lower. Shutting the store down. Seeing that happen all the time. I was watching, what was it? It was a handful of videos on like J. Crew and Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret really shot themselves in the foot as far as going on that whole woke inclusive thing. And, they used to have the Victoria's Secret angels who were just basically supermodels in underwear running around with wings on a stage, and they'd record it. That was the whole Victoria's Secret event, where they'd release their new line of whatever goods it was. And then they went to, models that weren't models. Yeah. More everyday folks, which, I get. Not everybody, nobody looks like a supermodel, right? Especially as you get older, you just don't look that way. But, in the case of when you're selling stuff like Victoria's Secret does, I think you want something a little bit more than, somebody who is probably more apt for a Jenny Craig commercial or, a weight loss product or something along those lines. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Victoria's Secret went down some dark roads, and I know a lot of clothing, entities did, because they were told, oh, if we still have skinny models, people are going to boycott our store. And now they're just boycotting your stuff because they can't really work out. Well, what would this look like? I mean, they want it to look great, and they want that to reflect on them. And they know they've got a whatever kind of body. And okay, I don't want to look like her. I already do. And so, sales of Victoria's Secret stuff and some of it had to do with quality until the quality has just dropped off. They used to have stuff that lasted forever. Now they don't. So it's like, all right, between the two, and so many entities have gone to that body positivity. All right. Yeah. Something to be said for that. But does that transfer to, you don't want to make all these young teenage girls, feel terrible about themselves because they look normal. But then again, you've also got to give an aesthetic that encourages people to buy the product, right? Fine line there. I think most places have overshot it, kind of like Disney has done with all their content. Let's put a gay character in every damn movie. And then they wonder, why is this, why are our movies not doing well, abroad where, that kind of thing is just outlawed. Wild, right? So this gal, she caught it all on her phone as she filmed her day at work. I didn't know you could. Can you film your day at work? I mean, I do, obviously, to the point where it's kind of ridiculous, but we're just trying it out and seeing what it looks like and seeing how many people pay attention. The employee, Emily, at Diary of a Wimpy Barbie. Diary of a Wimpy Barbie. All right, so she's not a big buff Barbie, but Barbie was never really all that strong, right? That's why Barbie had Ken and Barbie. Ken was handsome. I mean, he was just jacked up and probably on a couple of cycles of roids, little test, right? And that's why he got the Barbie, because he was all jacked up and handsome, and he probably had money, and he drove a cool car. So we've got Diary of a Wimpy Barbie. All right. Begins her workday video. Hey guys, welcome to a day in the life of a Walgreens employee. The video has been viewed over 3.7 million times since it was posted in December of 2022. It's probably 6-7 million now. I could count if I checked, but let's just take a look. Let's see what this looks like.
Hey guys, welcome to a day in the life of a Walgreens employee. A little ASMR moment. Okay, so this is the first thief of the day. A customer yelled, "The police are across the street!" The manager called the police. No help. He's taking items off an empty shelf. I was like, what you gonna do if the police catch you? And then there they were. And then they didn't catch him, so it was embarrassing. But anyways, yeah, so back to work, gotta get that bread, gotta put in that work, you feel me? There's my little OCD. Okay, this is number 2. Yeah, crazy. He was like, you good. Those 16 totes, I had to work product onto the shelf, completed by moi. Peace out.
We all know this is going on every single day. It's just happening, right? This is just literally what's going on. And she documents it. The 49-second TikTok video shows 2 different shoplifters walking out the store with carts full of items. I think a lot of folks, they hear that there's organized retail shoplifting, but they don't really know what that means. What these 2 individuals did, that's what it means. So they're either going to take these goods and sell them themselves, or they've got somebody else that's willing to buy that has already given them a list of stuff to steal. And they just went shopping with the 5-finger discount at the door. Just boom, we're out of here. After the first shoplifter, a customer calls out the police. We're waiting outside, and you can see the lights in one of the segments, but it's so quick because she got it on hyperlapse. So you can't really tell what's going on. You're like, yeah, did they catch him? I think they caught him. Yeah, the carts are just full of items. And then there they were, and then they didn't catch him, so it was embarrassing. But anyways, back to work, got to get the bread, she says, talking about the money. So they didn't get him. Cops are out there. Oh, that sucks. She intercuts the video of the thefts with her routine tasks and her shift responsibilities, shows her putting on the little labels and doing all that. And as she's doing that, I'm kind of thinking, all right, so she's putting up, so the store is paying her XYZ dollars per hour. And how much of what they're paying her is that should be coming in as income is literally walking out the door with these organized retail theft or with these people just stealing stuff left and right. How much of, the overhead to cover her, like what she did right there in that sequence. That's what I kind of look at and go, okay, this is not sustainable. You got to do something till they start throwing these people in jail. Still, they start making an example of them, get some laws on the books and enforce them. It's one thing to have laws, but clearly we're not enforcing anything because these folks all have the idea. I can just walk into a store, grab a cart and book it out of there. So until you've got enough of these videos circulating where people are like, I mean, can't you see some young kid in Congress? They got like they have a 21-year-old kid in Congress, I think. Until you get some kid in Congress, hey, this is what's going on. And then people are going to be shocked. Can't you see all the old dudes in the House and the Senate going, oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is terrible. We need to stop this right now. What laws do we have on the books? They're in such different headspace than where people are recording TikToks at Walgreens are. She intercuts the video of the thefts with her routine tasks and her shift responsibilities during her working day at Walgreens, such as showing 16 large boxes of product that she had to reshelf and making stickers for snacks. That's what she does. That's what she's got going on at Walmart. At Walgreens. Okay, this is number 2, theft. Yeah, crazy. He was like, you good? Talking to the criminal was talking to her. Just nobody has any respect for what's going on. And you know what? You get what you pay for. You vote this kind of nonsense in. This is what you get in your community. And then all of a sudden people are going to be like, well, why are prices going up so much? And why is all of our stuff behind security doors? Well, because you knuckleheads decided that somehow it was racist to throw people in jail for stealing stuff. And so you took all those criminal laws and you threw them out the window, and here you are. And now we've just made a criminal enterprise out of it, and people are going ham on your stores. Oh, well, that's not good. It's not good. In the next post, Emily also urged people not to shoplift from stores, as their value is ultimately not worth it. I would disagree. The laws of supply and demand say that an equilibrium point will take place when you've got, both supply and demand and, they'll kind of just be balanced out. You've got way more people stealing right now than you do people on the other end trying to prevent said stealing. So it is worth it, because you can steal this stuff, and what's going to happen? Not much. Even if they get busted, not much. So, because no matter what they had, I bet you it's not worth $950. So I know there's laws in California, and I assume that's where this is. I don't even know. What did we say at the beginning? Did we even say? Did you even give a location? Let me check. No, it doesn't really stay. Oh, East LA. All right. So, there you go. So, back to work, got to get the bread. So this young lady is an enterprising young lady. I mean, she's working, right? I mean, I shouldn't say enterprising. She's doing what she's supposed to do to get a paycheck, but how annoying to know, all right, I just earned XYZ $15 an hour, $12 an hour. Whatever Walgreens pay is, $16 an hour. And that guy just walked out with $900 worth of stuff, whatever it was. I mean, it's just demoralizing. But she got to get that bread. Now she's got probably a couple million followers on TikTok, right? Instead, she said they should ask for help if they can't afford it rather than steal. All right. We are under the, we're under the idea of these people need this stuff. This is not a crime of need. This is a crime of greed. That's what this is. That's the big disconnect that I think a lot of people have. Well, they're just stealing a sandwich. They're just stealing diapers for their children. No, they're not. They are stealing because this is how they make their living. This is how they make their living. And until you make laws that basically say, you're going to make your living this way, that's fine. We're going to imprison you for a long period of time because we need to get your ass off the streets. Until you start to go down some of those roads, expect to see much of the same. And what I always do is I always throw out the flip side of it, which is I'm going to have podcasts for days. Because when is it? How long is it going to be? And then not days, months and years, right? This isn't going away. Just like homelessness isn't going away. Because the underlying, homelessness, drugs, mental psychosis, those things, they don't just, it's not like they just kind of disappear. Well, that ache and pain I had in my rotator cuff, it just kind of went away. No, none of that happening. You get stuck on drugs, you have mental issues. You're not just going to probably wake up one day and go, good Lord, that was a run, wasn't it? That was like 6 years of fentanyl and meth and sleeping on the streets and getting chased around by people with machetes and axes machetes and swords. Sorry. It's machetes and swords. An update from her series of videos showing the day in the life. Emmy explains the police had visited. All right. So, police came by. What are they going to do? I've got a description of a such and such man, such and such height, his color hair. All right. What was he driving? Yeah. There are so many of these criminals running around. The cops are not. They're not. They're investigating a little bit, but they've got bigger fish to fry, right? Especially in LA. We're at a point where law enforcement isn't doing anything. They're not able to do anything. And you get what you paid for. You defunded the police. Here you are. Don't have enough cops. Here you are. Didn't make public safety a priority. Here you are. So you're going to have to deal with going into your Walgreens and you're going to have, wow, there's not much stuff on the shelves. It's all behind security. Or Safeway, the deal with Safeway, I talked about this earlier in the week, is that they put all of their stuff in this one area, have it all behind, glass enclosed security doors. And you have to buy it right there on the spot. And this is all the high risk stuff for being sold or for being shoplifted. And so then you have to literally pay for it there and then you can walk out with it. And somebody hands it to you because they unlock the container. Are we going to go to a system where everything's behind locked doors like that? It feels like it because as long as these jokers who are pushing a cart out the front door continue doing what they're doing, this is not a sustainable model, is it? There's a secondary story. Walgreens CFO claims security measures have gone too far. It's like, what? No, they haven't really gone anywhere. Wall Street Journal reports in an article from January 6, 2022, entitled Wall Street Revisits Shoplifting Security as Losses from Theft Drop. The nation's second largest U.S. pharmacy chain by locations poured money last year into additional security, some of which executives said was ineffective, and it is now considering cutting back as losses from theft have dropped significantly. I think nobody's calling them in. I think nobody's calling them in because all the stories I see, it's still happening left, right, and center. So maybe the losses, the theft have dropped significantly just because it's been an epidemic of ongoing, rotations through the stores. People are just like, he's stealing another 70-inch TV from Target. Saw that one during the pandemic. People have become numb to it. They've just gotten to a point where they're like, well, all right. I mean, even this gal, she's just like, here's my day. Two, pretty open, brazen thefts of people coming in with carts. And in some locations, this is an hourly concern because we've always had some kind of shoplifting. I was watching a guy who was kind of covering the story. He was giving input on the Safeway story down in Portland. And he was saying, hey, I worked at that Safeway back in 1992 and we caught hundreds of shoplifters, but they never came back because they were prosecuted and they did some time, or they paid a big fine, where they're like, I'm not going back to that store. That store, yeah, it's not good for my freedom. So I'm just not going to go there anymore. We're going to ixnay on that store. But all these other stores, like this store that we just saw, why wouldn't they go back? Hey, we're back. Got a cart over there. Grab that cart. Now, some of the stores have got carts that don't go anywhere. If they haven't had the stuff paid for, they don't go anywhere. And some stores like Home Depot or, Bluetoothing stuff, so it doesn't work if you steal certain pieces of certain tools. But it's like, okay, yeah, they're still getting away with an awful lot of stuff, aren't they? CFO James Kehoe says that they may have cried too much about theft and told CNN Business the company's rate of shrink, merchandise losses due to theft, fraud, damages, misscanned items, and other errors fell from 3.5% of total sales last year to around 2.5% during its latest quarter. Was that an anomaly? I don't know, because these guys are saying it's dropped a percentage point. It doesn't seem like that with what's going on out there. Maybe that is just at Walgreens, but I don't know. Who knows? So or are they basically saying, hey, here's this is a really good excuse for us to drop security? Because what does security even really do in any of these stores? Security is there basically to make sure the employees don't get killed, managers don't get killed or injured, and the shoppers have a fine shopping experience. Because you'll see video of people coming in with these carts doing this kind of thing, and the security guard just basically stands there and, hey, have a nice day. Come shop with us again. That's just not how this is supposed to work, is it? But leadership in place that's accepting of this kind of thing, because, we want to be accepting of everybody, including those who steal from us. Our prices go up, and this is just backwards wrong. It's kind of what we're doing. Feels like that's just what we're doing, right? All right, that's it for me on this one. Thank you so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now. Thank you for being here. Love to have you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Best thing you can do to support me and this channel is to share the content. Share it to family, friends, anybody who might want to watch it. All right, that's it for me. Thank you.